Well, Lee, thanks for joining. We'll start, of course, with what we're looking forward to, the FA Cup, and a competition that I'm pretty sure we all know that you're very familiar with and enjoy.
Yeah, us slightly older people remember the true romance of the FA Cup and watching it on the afternoon and all that type of stuff and the final. And it is a special competition, a real special competition, regardless of they've changed the format in terms of replays and things, which I still think is a shame, because there will be clubs, you saw it last year, will be clubs who get the opportunity to go to Premier League clubs after drawing, or Championship club. But it's a real opportunity for us to try and put a cup run together. I think it's something that we'd all like. Probably the same with Doncaster. Slightly different pressures that come with it than the league. So an afternoon we're looking forward to, but ultimately a game that, you know, I've stressed to the players, it's important to us that we prepare properly and try and progress in the cup.
You mentioned there about, with a smile on your face, the older generation know what it's all about, what FA Cup days were all about, what FA Cup finals are all about. So just a question of, when you're dealing with the modern day football, which you deal with, and a lot of younger players, do they have that feeling, do you think?
I think so. I still think for players it's seen as important. I think the stigma of it not being important has been taken away by perhaps TV, what time the cup final now kicks off, etc. But I still think people still know the importance of it, and in the rewards that lower league teams can get from it. You know, where you might end up playing, being on tally through winning a game and getting a draw, etc. Premier League club or non-league team. You know, we were on against Derby, weren't we? You know, a couple of years ago, and it felt really good. It was a shame that the replay wasn't on tally. I thought that was something they could have done. But I do think the players understand the importance of the FA Cup and the importance of what it is to English football. Like I say, I think a lot of it's been taken away from broadcasting, and Premier League teams perhaps want to shorten the format because of the amount of games they get through the Champions League and Europa Cup and the Conference Cup and things like that. But I do think that they understand the importance of it and what it means to people.
Well, you're renewing rivalry, of course, with the League Two champions as were last year. The good thing about FA Cups or any cup tie is you got a home draw.
Yeah, it's important to get that home draw. When it come out, that's the first thing you look for, is a home draw. And then we draw a really good team in Donny. You know, Grant's done an amazing job there. Like I say, went up as worthy winners last year. Started off the season really well, and like a lot of promoted teams will go into that division, they'll have slight dips, and they've carried a lot of the players with them, which I think is brilliant, into League One. So it's going to be a really tough test for us. But like I say, it's the FA Cup. It's an opportunity for us. You've just mentioned about playing against the higher opposition and pitch ourselves exactly where we are. Yeah,
that's the good thing about it. It still, you know, creates that interest, doesn't it? That whether you've got a non-league club, that creates interest, or whether you've got a League One side that's performing quite well in that league. So there's that key interest that's still in that game.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you say, it's always good to test yourself against higher opposition and pitch yourself exactly where you are. Different pressures, you know, getting away from the league and having that real freedom in a cup game and going for it within that game. And like I say, the carrot at the end of it is what could be. If you can get through, you know, this tie, it's going to be extremely tough. But the carrots for both teams really is what could be. At the end of it, it can be a good distraction to be in the FA Cup and have a good run. It can have a real good impact on your home, on your league form. So it's something we're taking really serious, and like I say, we're looking forward to it.
You just more or less preempted the next question, really, because is it one of those games where you look at your squad and you're contemplating shuffling the pack, or is it we're going as strong as we can get?
Well, I've got to have a look at the players. A lot of players have played a lot of minutes, haven't they? So I'll be having a closer look at that over the next couple of days. We sort of formulated what formation and how we're going to try and go about the game. But I'll have a look at a couple of the players. Like I say, played a lot of minutes. So there could be some changes going into the game. I'll just have a look at that over the next couple of days.
You've got a few players on loan. I'm not quite sure. You'll definitely answer, because you will know the loan players that are here, are they eligible to play? Are they in your thoughts, or do you have to work out with the clubs who you can have?
Well, up to yet, I've not been told they can't play. So that's part of their agreements that they can play in the cup games. Look, that can change. Teams can quite easily, Friday morning, drop you a message, an email, whatever it may be, and say we're pulling our player out of that game. That's down to them. But up to yet, touch wood, we've not had any of that. It's part of the agreement that they can play in the FA Cup.
Following on from winning the title last year, Doncaster, have they changed much? Has there been significant change from their personnel into where they are this particular weekend?
Well, a couple of players have left, but they've kept a lot of the players that were with them to get promoted. They play in a similar style to what they did, because they were very, very good at it, and Grant's just trying to get better at it all the time. Conor Reedon's obviously there, a face that we know, I believe, is doing extremely well liked up there. So it's pretty similar to us. They'll know what to expect from us, and we've played each other enough over the last couple of years, and we've got an idea of what they're looking for come the afternoon.
And just one final thing from you. Of course, everybody's heard about what's happened to Neil Baker. Fingers crossed he's on the road to recovery. I'm pretty sure he might have been doing a cartwheel the other night when his grandson scored a wonderful headed goal. You've been very close to Neil.
Yeah, he's someone really important in my life, Bakes. I believe he's doing okay. I'm yet to speak to him, which I will do, because I no doubt he's getting a lot of calls. I'll pop up and see him and his wife. I'll go over in an afternoon and go and see him. I believe he's doing well. Been telling him to slow down for a little bit for the last couple of years, and you get the usual response, and if it's not a response, you get a punch. So yeah, I'm sure he was delighted yesterday. Billy's a really good lad, good character. It was a great header and a good win for the youth team in general. The really tough evenings, them, a team, whatever we say, crew are the favourites for that game, so there's a bit more pressure on the players, not been in that position before. Let Notts County, have that little bit more freedom, but I thought the players dealt with the game really well, and like I say, Bakes would have been delighted with Billy scoring.